A short video about the questions I received yesterday, what I meant with doing charity for the planets or the houses or the Shem. And it is as simple as this. I'm reusing my, since my pen trouble, I'm reusing my papers from the geomantic houses now. Like the first house is the querent. It is who you are, what you look like, health, and so on. And when you want to do a charity for a house, let's say like it is goods, material, wealth, game, business, transaction, desires, lost property. You might want to take care of something or help somebody with that kind of problems. Or brothers and, in third house, brothers and sisters, neighbors. You might do something for your brothers and sisters. Environment, short trips, and so on. And in the sixth house you have servants, employees and small animals. So if you have trouble in the sixth house, you might feed some small birds or take care of a hamster. Many people fear the sixth house because you have illnesses and injuries, but if you take care of small animals, let's say cat, dogs and smaller, you might change the things with flow of energy since you do something good. And then there are so many ways of what you think is the right way to do charity. It might be just as simple as watering a plant in some cases, just show something in the real world that you learned a lesson and are changing. And then, of course, you have the traditional with, let's say you are working with Saturn, and you might help people with questions that relate to Saturn, same with Jupiter, Mars, and so on. It doesn't always have to be so. You can use crystals, you can use metals. Saturn is lead, so it's a little bit difficult to find nowadays. But in the curtains, if you look at old curtains, they always had lead in the bottom. So that's where I used to find lead when somebody sold old curtains. They weighed down the curtains so they didn't have to iron them. So that's a resource for lead that is quite easily found. If you go to an antique store or thrift store or something, they don't know that there is lead in that. I don't know so much to say since it's personal, everything. When you do something, you might start to plant flowers, take care of animals, take care of people, teach somebody something. You can always teach something. Everybody is good at something that no one else knows. You can lend somebody money or give somebody a small amount of money who needs money. If somebody is sick, you can help to take care of them when they are sick. I just leave it more simply. I try to do my best whenever I don't believe that there are such thing as... I think everything is meant to happen. So if I meet somebody who's sick, I'm naturally thinking, oh, I should give them a hand. So that's the way I roll. So I don't think about it. I just do it. And the same with the Shem and the horoscopes, whatever is in, and once you learn something, help others with it. And there is not so much about enlightenment, but you often find people who are struggling with the same thing as you are, so you can just say that, oh, I learned this and that wasn't good for me, or oh, I did this and that was horrible, and maybe you can persuade somebody else to not make the same mistake as you did. But everything is recognized when you work with spirits, so And I don't want to go into that whole thing with buying things and having all sort of altars, separate rooms and all that kind of things. It isn't necessary, and not everybody, there are people there who are homeless, who have nothing, natural catastrophes and wars, and so I don't go into that you need any material. It's you can use whatever it is. You can pick a blue flower, or you can take up a pine cone. Pine is Mars. Pick up a pine cone, and that is Mars. And any kind of heavy rock is Saturn, for example. You don't need anything specific for that. Iron is Mars. Venus can be a rose. Thorns are always Mars. A cactus is Mars. You can draw a cactus. You can draw a rose. So they are so just whatever it feels like. So I think that you can just do something small for somebody else and help them with whatever they are struggling with. And often you meet people who you meet them for maybe 1 minute in your whole life and you never see them again. So that small gesture is not much effort there. But it can make a difference in your spiritual practice. And it is just that you trust yourself and learn to trust the knowledge that comes from the spirits, and everything will work out that way. Since once you learn something and you act as you learned it, that's the way to progress forward. So they notice that you made a difference in your actions, and that is the first sign that you are starting to learn and listen. And then you start trying to help others with whatever it is, or you can build some help with building a house. There are so many things, or plumbing and whatever it is. So this was a ramble, but I don't have a pen today. So I hope it answers questions about offerings and what you can do. And be inspired, and if you have any good ideas, let me know in the comments. Bye for now.